Welcome to Six Flags Great America, Physics Edition.
Have you ever ridden on the giant drop? Want to know the physics behind it? If yes, this is the video for you. Keep watching.
The only force acting on a free-falling object is gravity.
Acceleration due to gravity equals negative 9.81 meters per second squared.
The giant drop is a wonderful example of acceleration due to gravity at work.
Free fall rides are made up of three distinct parts: the ride to the top,
The moment of suspension,
And the plunge to the bottom.
in the first part of the ride, force is applied to the cart to lift it to the top. This gives it potential energy.
the amount of force needed to lift the cart depends on the mass of both the cart and the passengers.
This reminds us of our tattoos.
After a brief suspended period, the cart drops. During this drop, everyone experiences the same acceleration due to gravity regardless of their individual mass.
Now let's take a closer look at V2.
Only I own me. Now feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. Oh, I can feel my heart beating. 'Cause you make me feel.
Here is a pipe cleaner model of V2. When the ride begins, your cart is here in the middle and has a potential energy of 0. When the ride begins, you bolt out of the station at almost 70 miles per hour and travel up one side of the coaster. When your cart reaches the top, it has the maximum potential energy that it will have during this ride. On its way back down, the potential energy begins to convert into kinetic energy until, when you reach the point you began, all of the potential energy has become kinetic. When your cart starts to travel up the other side of the roller coaster, all of that kinetic energy begins to turn back into potential energy until it reaches its maximum potential energy at this side of the roller coaster.
The concepts of potential and kinetic energy used in V2 are also applied to a basic pendulum.
Work. Potential. Kinetic. Potential. Kinetic. Potential. Kinetic. Potential. Kinetic.
The basic concepts of a pendulum can be applied in a more complex manner to the boat ride.
I hear the drums echoing tonight, but she hears only whispers of some quiet conversation.
Now let's look at collisions.
In 12:30 flight, the moonlit wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation. I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melodies. He turned to me as if to say,
When two items collide, there are three possibilities. The first being a perfectly elastic collision. In a perfectly elastic collision, the two objects collide and move in opposite directions. There is no loss in kinetic energy in a perfectly elastic collision. The second type of collision is inelastic. In an inelastic collision, the two objects collide and move off together in the same direction with the same velocity. The masses are not separate anymore, but rather one mass. Some kinetic energy is changed into different forms of energy.
Step one, you say we need to talk. He walks, you say sit down, it's just a talk. He smiles politely back at you. You stare politely right on through some sort of window to your right. As he goes left and you stay right between the lines. Fear and blame, you begin to.
The third type of collision is break-apart collisions. In a break-apart collision, the two objects start together and then break apart. They move in different directions with different velocities. Their mass is the same at first, but after the collision, they have two separate masses.
When bumper cars collide, the drivers experience inertia even though the cars change direction. The drivers continue in the direction they were going before the collision. If two drivers have different masses, one will experience a greater change in motion than the other.
When the days are cold and the cards all fold and the saints we see are all made of gold. When your dreams
Next up is
all fail,
inertia.
the wounds we hail are the worst of all, and the bloods run stale. I wanna hide the truth, I wanna.
Inertia is a measure of laziness.
Inertia is present at almost all roller coasters at Six Flags Great America.
Inertia is a property that all matter has in common. Galileo was the first to observe it, and this idea inspired Newton's first law of motion, sometimes called the law of inertia. Inertia is the property of matter to remain in its state of rest or uniform motion unless an external force acts upon it.
When you turn the wheel of a car, your body has a tendency to continue in the same direction it was going before, even though the car is turning in a different direction.
They do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mom. I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even got it tatted on me. 81, they'll bring the crashers to the party. And you know me, turn the 02 into the 03. Don't stop the party. Que no pare la fiesta. Don't stop the party. I'm running through the world like a running back. Scarface world's my running back. 30,000 people in here know me.
Abby, let's go. I'm going to show you a word problem with these concepts we just learned.
Okay.
So basically, the most important equation you need to know is KE equals 1/2 mv squared.
Why is that important?
Because that's how you find kinetic energy, by taking 1/2 times an object's mass times its velocity squared.
Okay.
I'll show you a word problem so you understand it better.
Determine the kinetic energy of a 500 kilogram roller coaster car that is moving with the speed of 20 meters per second.
Okay, so in this problem, the mass of our roller coaster cart is 500 kilograms and its velocity is 20 meters per second. Abby, Show me how you would put this into the equation for kinetic energy.
So kinetic energy would equal 1/2 times 500 times 20.
Close. This 20 needs to be squared because in our problem, velocity is squared in the equation for kinetic energy. So now, if we solve this problem, we get 100,000. Now, does anyone know the unit of measurement for energy? Abby?
Joules. Ooh, joules.
No limit in the sky that I won't fly for you. No amount of tears in my eyes that I won't cry for you. Oh no, with every breath that I take, I want you to share that air with me. There's no promise that I won't keep. I climb a mountain that's none too steep. When it comes to you, there's no crime.
Okay, quick recap. Acceleration due to gravity equals negative 9.81 meters per second squared. Gravity is a force that acts on a free-falling object like the cart in the giant drop.
Energy can be converted between different forms but cannot be destroyed. In V2, all potential energy is converted to kinetic energy and back throughout the ride. There are 3 types of collisions: elastic, inelastic, and break apart. Each of these collisions can occur in a bumper car attraction.
And finally, inertia is a measure of laziness. Most rides demonstrate the principle of inertia as the roller coaster changes direction. People continue the same way they were going.
The way your fingers fit mine is 5 plus 5, not a rocket science. This day and time, that's hard to find, it's true. The road we're on ain't a traffic jam, it's a Sunday drive on a piece of land. It's paradise as long as I'm with you. It's like 1, 2, 3, just as easy as can be. Just the way you look at me, you make me smile. Ain't no need to complicate it, we both know that's overrated. We've been there, it's safe to say it ain't our style. It's just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be. It's just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be. We used to live on.
We just want to give a shout out to Isaac Newton and Galileo for all their ideas that inspired us in the making of this video.
Thank you so much for watching Six Flags Physics Edition.
If you like this video, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, you know what's up.
Don't forget, have a Six Flags day.